Good evening and welcome, Cassell Coliseum in 2026. Two 12-3 schools, Stanford and Virginia Tech, going at it. I am Thomas Howlett, joined by my friend Connor Arthur for 3304 Sports. Both teams getting ready for tip-off. Starting lineup for the Hokies. Jalen Bedford out there, along with Amani Hansberry, Jaden Shute, Christian Gerdak, and Neo Abdalis. Starting lineup for Stanford, the star freshman Ibuka Okori, Benny Gieler, Chizum Akpara, Ryan Agarwal, and Oscar Gillay. Connor, what type of game are we going to see tonight?
We're going to see a fight between two really good ACC teams. Inter Sandman's jumping off. We're getting ready for tip-off here. It's supposed to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one here at Cassell Coliseum.
Stanford entering off that upset win over Louisville as Hansberry wins the tip-off. Ball is controlled by the Hokies. Jalen Bedford has the ball on the right side. Gets it to Abdalis at the point. Gets the screen from Hansberry. Entry into the post. Now kicks out to the corner to shoot. Abdalis now working top of the key. Great moves. Takes some contact. Puts it up and gets the roll all around the rim. 2-0 lead, Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Abdalis, especially after last game against Wake Forest, only scoring 8 points. He needs to bounce back in order for the Hokies to stay alive tonight.
Also had 7 turnovers against the Demon Deacons. Now it's Stanford running their offense. Akpara kicks it to the left corner. And now running the offense at the point is Agarwal. Drives, kicks out. It's a wide open three at the top of the key. Nothing but the back of the iron. Jalen Bedford the rebound. Bedford calls out a play. The transfer out of UNLV having himself a great season. Dumps it into the short corner. Abdalis swings it back to Bedford, puts up a three. That one is off the mark, and the tip-in is no good by Hansberry. But he gets his own rebound. Now it's Bedford driving in and has it stolen away. And that is a foul in transition. It will be called on Jaden Shute. And he knocked down Chizum Akpara.
There's one thing about Stanford here that I really enjoy, and it's the height differential between them and the Hokies. Not a single player on the Stanford Cardinal team is below 6 foot.
Stanford certainly has some talent, as it will be Benny Gieler bringing it across half court. Now it's Okori, guarded by Bedford. Gets blitz off the screen, dumps it inside. Now kicking it back out to nowhere is Oscar Gillay. And the freshman out of Belgium commits a turnover. It will be Virginia Tech ball. 2-0 lead for the Hokies, 18-19 left in the first half. And it's been very back and forth pace-wise so far.
Absolutely. The only thing you need to do, as Mike Young used to say, put the dang ball in the net.
Now it's the Hokies running their offense. Abdalis slips it into Hansberry, who tries to get it to Gerdak. But it's Agarwal with the fast hands. Agarwal, the redshirt junior. Now Stanford on the other end of the floor. Step back three on its way, and it is good. Ibuka Okori, the star freshman out of Nashua, New Hampshire. 4-star prospect coming out of high school. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year for his state. Now it's the Hokies once again. Gerdak has it top of the key. Now it's Hansberry driving inside, trying to work, playing big, and gets nothing but the backboard on that shot. Okori now has it, guarded by Bedford. Blitzed off the ball screen. Now it's Agarwal on the right side. It's another screen. And now it's Chizum Akpara working one-on-one on Amani Hansberry. Gets back to the middle of the lane. Nice spin move and can't get it to fall. However, the rebound is gathered by Gillay. Turnaround jump hook is no good. Rebounded by Christian Gerdak. Transition three on its way. It is blocked by Agarwal. Jaden Shute comes up empty on that one. Couldn't get it off quick enough.
Yeah, Jaden Shute also trying to get back into the swing of things. 1 for 6 from three-point land against Wake Forest last time they played.
Now 3-2 score, 16 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first half. Jaden Shute has the ball. Still no substitutions for the Hokies quite yet. Shute gets around the blitz off the screen. Now kicks it out to Bedford on the wing. Driving inside, leaves it high off the glass and doesn't get the roll. Gerdak has it taken away, and Bedford gets swatted at the rim. Now it's Benny Geeler. In transition, he stops on the wing. Stanford now getting into their offensive set. Giltay, top of the key, will take it inside for the two-handed dunk. 5-2 lead for the Cardinal.
Virginia Tech needs a basket now.
And Benny Geeler almost gets that one away from Neo Abdallas. I don't know, that one looked pretty clean to me from up here.
It's a physical game. Sometimes players can get a little bit too physical. Like I said, Virginia Tech needs a basket here. 0 for 7 in their last field goals now.
Now checking into the game for the first time since the battle for Atlantis, it's Toby Lowell. He's been dealing with a lower leg injury during this time off. His first game back, he's averaged 12.8 points per game and 10 rebounds this season. Great to have him back. And for Stanford checking in was number 25, Jeremy Dent-Smith. Hansberry, a three from the left wing off the iron. Now it's Agrawal for Stanford on the other end. Gets it to Akpara. Screen for Dent-Smith and tries to get it to Akpara, but it's swatted away by the Hokies. Hansberry has it in transition. There goes Jaden Shute to the basket, turnaround jumper, leaves it short, but it's a rebound by Toby Lowell, going up and puts it in. Toby Lowell was first points back from injury.
My favorite thing about Lowell is his physicality, being able to get into the paint, brush other players off to get the two.
He is stellar at that indeed. Now Stanford running their offense. It's a Corey. Looking for an open man, gets it at Para, driving inside, and a phantom buzz. And a timeout is called on the court. Head coach for Stanford, Kyle Smith, wondering what is going on. I think a timeout was called.
A little bit of a delay in that timeout, however.
Yeah, that was very
Wasn't
confusing.
immediate.
We heard the buzzer, and then nothing happened. They kept playing. So I'm assuming a little bit of time will be added back onto the clock, but at the moment it's a 5-4 Stanford lead, 15 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Connor, what does Tech have to do to really get back on track? They've looked a little off to start the game, some shots just not falling. What are they going to have to do to change things up?
Some of it is just a matter of shots are not falling, but I believe it's more so ball handling. The biggest problem last year, and Mike Young can attest to this to the heavens, it is turnovers, it is the lack of ball handling. Being able to keep the ball in your hands, being able to pass efficiently, that's what's going to help tremendously in getting a win against Stanford tonight.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Stanford has also had some of the same issues, a few turnovers for them, and then some of their shots just not falling. So it seems like each team just trying to get into that rhythm. And Stanford, they're no stranger to those low-scoring affairs. They got beat by Notre Dame 47-40 before their game against Louisville, where they ended up upsetting the Cardinals. So it's weird how the world works. But I think when it comes to those low-scoring affairs, I think Stanford honestly might be a little bit better off and a little bit more prepared.
I think it's very interesting for Stanford. They averaged 70-plus points per game this season, and to drop 30 down into this Notre Dame game, 47-40, it's been very interesting. And Notre Dame this season has had some interesting things happen to them this season.
They certainly have. You saw that game against Cal.
Oh, my goodness.
Crazy three-point buzzer beater, and then they got the foul, and then, oh my goodness, that was absolutely insane. A fantastic game.
Tremendous game indeed, and that brings I want to bring up the referees for tonight's game. Referees for tonight: John Gaffney, Tony Chiza, and Christopher Merlot are set to officiate this game. This game also available on ACC Network. Currently at media timeout right now.
Yeah, we've only seen 2 fouls called so far tonight, one on Benny Dealer and the other on Jaden Shute. That was that one in transition. But the Hokies right now, they're 2 for 11 from the field, 0 for 3 from three-point land. Stanford's shooting much better, but they haven't gotten up as many shots. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys scheme up. These are 2 tenured head coaches, Kyle Smith and Mike Young. It's going to be interesting down the stretch because neither team is really that deep. They struggle a little bit with their depth. Tech, they've had games where they only go an 8-man rotation, and I feel like that's something you don't really hear of much in college. So, it's going to be a lot of fun to see these two work in sort of a chess match.
I believe the difference here between Virginia Tech and Stanford is the matter of, yes, depth may be an issue for both of these teams, and especially for Virginia Tech, they don't have a whole lot of depth, but it's the coaches. Coach Young has done a tremendous job in building that depth, developing these players, developing people off the bench. Take the triple overtime win against Virginia, for example. Short down Tyler Johnson, Toby Lowell, and Antonio Dorn, and you go off and you win against a ranked opponent.
Oh, yeah, that was an impressive game. And, speaking of great games, what a phenomenal. That was just back and forth affair. Ben Hammond had one of his best games, maybe his best game ever. And it looks like we're getting a little bit closer to getting back into some action. But I think when you talk about depth with Virginia Tech, a lot of their struggles have been due to injury. I mean, missing 3 guys, that's not an easy thing to overcome, especially when it's the caliber of Toby Lowell. And then, Tyler Johnson, you're not really sure when he's going to get back. I think he's a lot bigger of a piece to the puzzle than people realize. He is an excellent player, excellent defender, and really an excellent three-point shooter. He's been shooting, 41% from 3 this season. That's just absolutely spectacular. But now it looks like Ben Hammond has checked in for Virginia Tech. Abdallas, Lowell, Hansberry, Shute still in the game. And then for Stanford, Dent Smith. Looks like Ekpara is still in. A.J. Rahosi looks like they checked into the game. Okori's still out there, and then Agarwal as well. And Connor, quickly, one more thing that has impressed me about this Stanford squad. They score 78 points per game, and they only have 3 guys scoring in the double digits.
To me, it reminds me of, like, I don't want to say it's a one-man take-all sort of thing, but if you're Stanford, you got to also move that ball a little bit more.
And this one's a Corey for 3, and he misses. Hansberry gets the ball out quickly. Not much on that possession. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Stanford ball handlers. Now it's Abdallas working on Agarwal. Abdallas gets it inside. Hansberry kicks out. Jaden Shute wide open from 3. And it's nothing but nylon. The Jaden Shute special.
Pure water. Enjoy the water splash, Jaden Shute.
Jaden Shute, definitely a gift to this Virginia Tech program. Transferred from Duke last year when he was one of the best scorers on the team, and he's really continued that this year. Although he has not been asked to carry as much as an offensive load. And a little bit of a scrum for the ball looked like could have gone either way, and it will go with the Hokies as Chisholm are losing the ball. And now Christian Gerdak checks into the game. Looks like Amani Hansberry will get some rest. Ben Hammond to receive the inbounds pass. It's a 7-5 Virginia Tech lead at the 14-minute mark of the first half. Dallas has it top of the key, gets the screen from Gerdak. Of Dallas looking, flips to the other side of the court. It's Luau. Luau one-on-one against Akpara, gets pushed back. Luau going and tries to get it back out to Hammond, but it's an errant pass and goes out of bounds on the near sideline.
You know, it feels like a blessing and a curse sometimes with Ben Hammond. The kid is extremely fast on the court. Like one of the fastest I've ever seen a player.
And you can certainly see the potential with Hammond. Just sometimes some of his decisions, not the greatest, but he is young, just a sophomore out of Manassas, Virginia, went to Paul the 5th, or Paul the 6th, sorry. It's been a while since I brushed up on my Roman numerals. It's now getting in the Super Bowl season. That's when I start paying attention to the Roman numerals. Stanford has it under the basket. Akpara trying some acrobatics to get around Luau, but his shot comes up empty. Dallas working on the left side, trying to get out of trouble. Great defense from Dent Smith. Luau goes under the screen, takes a three, and it rattles in and out.
It looked clean too, but gravity is not on Virginia Tech's side on that one.
Luau only shooting 15% from three this year. He's really struggled with his shot. And now it's Stanford. Dent Smith has it, working it around, dumps it inside. Rahosi now on Gerdak, and this one is called a foul on the freshman from Charlestown, West Virginia. So Gerdak, that's his first personal foul of the game, and he absolutely was giving A.J. Rahosi some work. Rahosi, an interesting player. He's a grad student out of San Anselmo, California. He just transferred in from Claremont Mudd Scripps. That's a small Division III school. Rahosi, quite the player. Averaged a double-double last season, now finds himself with the Cardinal. And now getting inside for Stanford, that's Hammond, and he comes up short.
Yeah, Stanford now in a scoring drought for a little bit over 4 minutes now.
Hard screen from Hainsbury, gets the ball and passes it out to Hammond. Now it's Dallas on the right side, hop step. What a pass, finds Jaden Shoot, and you know it is money. Shoot or shoot, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a 10-5 Virginia Tech lead at the 12-minute mark in the first half.
Deja vu, Jaden Shoot, same spot as last time.
Now it's Agrawal on the other side. That three too strong, but came in the rebound, and Dent Smith is off. Now it's Rahosi, a rebound, leaves it short. Stanford cannot buy a basket. And now it's Hammond in transition. His floater, again, is short, but it's Hainsbury, a rebound. Hammond thought about shooting the three in the left corner, but finds Dallas. Dallas driving, bumping down low, and gets the floater to fall. Timeout, Kyle Smith and Stanford. They will talk it over. 12-5, Virginia Tech lead. 11 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first half. We will step aside. It's Thomas Allen and Connor Arthur for 3304 Sports. We are back in Cassell Coliseum. We are coming back to you right after a Stanford timeout. They trail 5-12 against the Hokies. And it has been an ugly affair so far for the Cardinal. 2 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. And they really haven't had an answer for anything all night long. Virginia Tech starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Jaden Shoot 2 huge threes. And Virginia Tech finds them up 7.
They're starting to find their footing a little bit. Virginia Tech on a 10-0 run with 1 second before 4 minutes. It's been all Virginia Tech in this first 10 minutes of play.
Stanford seems to have been struggling with some of the ball pressure, and, you know, I'm interested to see how they're going to adjust to it. If you're Kyle Smith, what are you thinking inside of your mind right now? Do you just try to ride it out with your best player in Corey, or do you try to get the team going as a whole?
I think you try to get out the hole as quick as possible.
Benny Geeler lines up a three that went in and out. Keeler can't find anything. Now it's Abdallah bringing it up the court. Gets it to Hansberry, going down the lane, has it stripped by Kamen. And now Stanford out and running. Dent Smith has it on the right side, finds Kamen, gets ahead of steam, and flushes it with two hands.
That's a start. Good slam. Do that a little bit more, you have the lead.
Exactly what they needed at the moment. Now it's Virginia Tech on the other end. Jalen Bedford back into the contest. They're rocking with Hammond, Gerdak, Bedford, Abdallah, and Hansberry. Abdallah in the lane, tries to get it to Cohen. Oh, what a heck of a roll. A nice friendly bounce off the front of the rim, and Abdallah. That is his second basket of the game. Now it's Ryan Agarwal on the other side for Stanford. Dent Smith has it in the lane, kicks it out now. Kamen gets it to Geeler. Benny Geeler driving baseline, flips it to the corner to Agarwal. He is guarded one-on-one against Abdallah. Spin move back to the middle of the floor, and a tough shot for Ryan Agarwal.
And Virginia Tech looks like they were trying to point out a possible foot out of bounds underneath the goal. But Stanford seems to get the basket clean.
Now it's Abdallah on the other end. Skips it across the court to Hansberry. Hansberry forced to kick it back out. They've really closed up the inside against the Hokies. Now it's Bedford flying to the inside. A left-handed layup does not go. Gerdak fails to gather the rebound, and now Stanford running in transition. Geeler tries to take it, almost loses it, but gathers it. Now he's on the right side of the court, right on the Carilion Clinic logo. Skips it out. Ryan Agarwal, long three, is off the rim, and it rolls out of bounds. 14-9 of the score, 9 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Virginia Tech, the 5-point lead. Stanford's found a little bit of rhythm offensively, but they still have a lot more work to do. I don't know about you, but that shot from Ryan Agarwal, I think you do a little bit better if you work it around in that scenario. Try to get a better look than that.
I think Virginia Tech is just playing really good defense right now and just able to close it up a little bit, make it a little bit tight and uncomfortable for Stanford.
Agarwal has been shooting 42% from three this season, so he certainly has a hot hand when it comes to the air. Now it's Ben Hammond working in the pick and roll with Hansberry. Finds him wide open, and he lays it in right off the glass. Armani Hansberry, the big basket. And the West Virginia transfer adds on to his spectacular season. He's been averaging almost 17 points a game. That leads the team. Geeler left open from three, and he knocks it down. Ben Hammond gets a little bit too greedy going for that pass.
I don't blame him. He's got the speed to do it, but maybe he was a little bit too fast and couldn't press the brakes in time.
Benny Geeler, a 43% three-point shooter, and that one is called a travel on Ben Hammond on the other end, so it will be Stanford ball. 16-12 Virginia Tech lead, 8 minutes 15 seconds left in the first half. Chisholm Akpara back into the game, along with Igbuka Corey. Benny Geeler remains in. Oscar Giltay in as well. Stanford trying to run some offense. Benny Geeler, top of the key, swings it over to the left wing. Now it's Akpara in the post, working on Lawau. And a nice move, draws a foul from Lawau. Can't get the shot to fall. It will be 2 free throws for Chisholm Akpara, the senior out of Bronxville, New York. So I looked it up. Just to clarify, Bronxville, New York is not the Bronx in New York City. Bronxville is in, I believe it was Manchester, New York. It's like a little small subdivision of it. It's apparently a very, wealthy neighborhood.
Were the ancient New Yorkers just running out of ideas here, or
apparently? Because I was.
Did everyone move from the Bronx over to there?
I was sitting there and I saw that and I was like, okay, so I saw Bronxville, New York, and I was like, okay, so he's from the Bronx. And then I looked it up to make sure, and Bronxville is actually its own separate place. So is there a Manhattanville, a Queensville, a Staten Islandville? That's what I'm wondering.
I think it just dawned on me. Do you think cities around the United States have trademarks?
You know what? I don't think that's possible. There's no way that cities can have trademarks.
Like imagine if the Bronx was trademarked. What if you can't use the Bronx on anything?
So you take out the Bronx, it's just Ville.
It's just
Is that
Ville.
what I'm hearing? Just Ville. Chisholm Akpara is from the Ville, ladies and gentlemen. Bronx has been copyrighted. We actually can't say it. We have ourselves immediate timeout. 16-12, Virginia Tech leads. 7 minutes and 57 seconds remaining. We'll be back on the other side. Thomas Howlett, Connor Arthur for 3304 Sports. Welcome back. It's Cassell Coliseum. We got 12 and 3 ACC teams competing for that 13th win of the season. Both 1-1 in conference play. It is Chisholm Akpara at the line shooting 2 for Stanford. Absolutely drains the first one. Akpara, 72.5% free throw shooter this season. 6'8" senior out of the Bronxville, New York. We just spoke about that. Now, interesting, that is Isaiah Pasha now in the game for Virginia Tech. Akpara gets both, and it's now 16-14 Hokies. Pasha gets it, Lowell at the right elbow. Now it's Jaden Shute. Has it at the top of the key over to Lowell on the left wing, setting up an action. It's Bedford flying around the bend. Bedford, acrobatic finish up and under. That's what he's known for at UNLV. He was a fantastic player in the Mountain West, but now it's Stanford on the other end. Nice pick and roll action. And it's Oscar Giltay flushing it with 2 hands.
Just looked like in transition, Virginia Tech was a little bit confused. Left the smack dab in the middle wide open.
Giltay, an interesting prospect, came out of Bilzen in Belgium. And that's very fun to say. Some nice alliteration. Of course, played in a little bit of pro action and FIBA. Now on the other end, it's Virginia Tech. A step back 3 from Bedford off the iron. Now Stanford flying up the court. Okori has it, driving inside, drawing some contact, puts up the left-handed floater, no good. Now it's Bedford flying up the court, will sell it down. Now it's Hansberry getting a screen for Shute. Shute lets it fly, and it comes up short. Very flat arc on that shot. Now Benny Gieler on the right wing, matched up against Pasha. Now kicking it out to Donovan Young. Young, not too much action. Toby Lowell, what a rejection off of the backboard. Now it's Bedford on the other end. Has a strip by Gieler, but he gets called for a foul. Gieler reaching in a little bit too much, but what a monstrous rejection by Toby Lowell.
Yeah, bodies went flying. That's how, again, the physicality of Toby Lowell is outstanding.
And that's what they've missed. They've missed that physical presence. As good as Amani Hansberry and Christian Gerdat, they don't have a guy who can get up like that. They just don't. There's not many players in the nation who can get up like that. Will be Virginia Tech ball.
Ben Hammond, Neocolis Pasha, the Neocolis Abdallas in, Isaiah Pasha back down now. Jalen Bedford as well.
Jalen Bedford has been an interesting player to say the least. Kind of off and on guy, but when he's on, he is on. Abdallas able to get it away after facing some pressure, and that's Amani Hansberry drilling the 3. Nice little step back. I didn't know Hansberry had those moves. 21-16 Tech lead. Stanford has it other end. Ibuka Okori handling the ball. It's been Hammond guarding Okori to the rack, and he gets it to fall. A nice little layup for the true freshman.
Just looking at Hansberry, especially last game against Wake Forest, I know Coach Young loves his ability to shoot the three.
Speaking of threes, it's Neo of Dallas, but that one off the back of the rim. Now it's Stanford again. The Corey to Agarwal, now in the corner to Donovan Young. Agarwal, top of the key, faking the dribble handoff is Giltay, and he will kick it back out to Chisholm Akpara. Akpara driving inside, he lost it. Win off of Dallas. Stanford gets it back, corner three from Donovan Young, no good. Luau grabbing the rebound and out to Ben Hammond. Hammond dumps it down low in the left corner to Hansberry. Hansberry will bring it out. Hansberry swings it over. Now another swing, and it's Neo of Dallas wide open and drills the triple. 24-18 Virginia Tech lead. 4 minutes and 15 seconds and counting.
The threes are starting to fly for the Hokies.
Feeling very confident in their shot at the moment. Now it's Donovan Young getting downhill, takes the contact and gets the shot to fall. Nice touch from Donovan Young. Dallas on the other end, nice spin move, gets to the inside, and it does not fall, but he does draw the foul. And Neo of Dallas will be shooting two when we come back. We'll step aside for a brief moment. Thomas Howlett, Connor Arthur for 3304 Sports. 24-20, Virginia Tech lead.
To the line for Hokies, 17, Neo of Dallas, shooting two.
Cassell Coliseum quiet for the first time tonight. Neo of Dallas makes his first free throw attempt of the game. Of Dallas, a very good player out of Kalamata, Greece. He's actually one of 4 international prospects. Technically, Christian Gerdak is from Germany. He was born overseas, played his college or high school ball here in the States. Of Dallas nails both free throws, and now it's Stanford on the other end. Oscar Giltay working on Gerdak. And now it's Ryan Agarwal. Settles into a three, and it is no good. Rebounded by Abdallas. Abdallas brings it up the court, draws a foul, but it will stay on the floor. And will go against Chisholm Akpara. So now 26-20 is the score. 3 minutes, 33 seconds remaining. Very easy to remember, 3-3-3. Baseline inbound to Neo of Dallas. Has it at the point. He picked up his dribble. Able to get it to Hansberry. Now running the pick and roll. Hansberry working on Akpara. And now it's been Hammond getting in the lane. Puts up about a 15-footer. It is off the iron. Stanford now has it on the other end. Ikbuka Corey picked up his dribble as well, able to get it out to Benny Geeler. Geeler swings it to Kamen. Kamen the handoff and gets called on the illegal screen. Put a little bit too much shoulder into Jaden Shoot. And it will be Virginia Tech ball with 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in the first half.
They're able to score here. That's going to be a big advantage going into the half. Already up 6. You want to keep the foot on the gas.
Stanford now only 2 of 10 from three-point land. They have really struggled from the floor so far. I think we're kind of seeing some of that potential that Virginia Tech's had, and Stanford just doesn't really know what to do with it. Neo of Dallas getting the screen, getting downhill, puts it up. What a circus shot. It just doesn't fall. Now Stanford has it, pushing the pace. Ikbuka Corey now has a mismatch on Hansberry, but leaves it strong. However, it's Oscar Giltay with the tip-in after the miss. 26-22 now the score. Under 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Double screen for Hammond, and now it's Hansberry, top of the key. Fakes the handoff, now picks up his dribble. Hammond driving on the right side, flips it out. Hansberry left open, he's able to get it up, and a little bit too strong. Now it's Benny Geeler putting some moves on Jaden Shute. Step back, Geeler doesn't pull the trigger. Now running in action with Gilte. Hammond denying a Corey. All the way out to the Carilion Clinic logo. Geeler about 5 feet beyond the three-point line and puts it up, and it's no good. Stanford continues to struggle from behind the arc. Dallas fakes the step-back three. Geeler comes and helps and steals it. Now Geeler driving. He will settle it down. Finds the wide-open Chisholm Akpara, and that one all air. Didn't get a piece of the rim. And a timeout is called by Virginia Tech head coach Mike Young. He's not happy with what he's seen. 1:11 left. 26-22 is the score. Virginia Tech does have the lead. Connor, what in the world did we just watch?
I'm wondering, I'm looking back at Abdallas' shot. Shoots from the right side of the top of the key. And it doesn't look like it's an actual three. To me, it looks like an alley-oop pass to Gerdak that fell south. Do you think that is something that Coach Young will probably discuss with Abdallas going into the locker room?
I'm sure he will. To me, it looked like a pass. It looked like he went up for the shot and was like, "Oh crap! I don't know about that shot." Tried to lob it into Gerdak because he was getting front pressure. He was getting denied. Tried to get it behind, but Benny Geeler, he's a smart player, able to come and just pick that pass off. Benny Geeler was a valedictorian in high school before he came to Stanford. Guess what his grade point average was?
Are we talking about? We've got a little other conversation happening here. We'll get back to that. For our audio listeners here, the Jumbotron showed defensive coordinator Brent Pry in the Coliseum.
Very strange to hear that. It's Virginia Tech on the other end. Gerdak gets fouled from behind by Ryan Agarwal. But going back to Benny Geeler, very smart player, valedictorian. His GPA out of high school, 4.8.
4.8?
4.8.
Out of a 5-point up.
Yeah.
I would assume.
4.8. I would have killed for something like that in high school. If I would have had that, I would have been somewhere. I don't know where I'd be. Actually, I'd probably still be here at Virginia Tech with our excellent sports media program. Christian Gerdak makes his first free throw of the game. Only a 67% shooter from the line, but he gets them both. 28-22 now the score.
I'm interested to see what Geeler's IQ is, because some of that has got to lean towards the basketball side of things. He's got a great basketball IQ.
Absolutely. I wonder if being smarter helps with the three-point shot. He's a 43% three-point shooter. You got to think it's got to have something to do with it, right? Stanford on the other end. Chisholm Akpara getting right to the basket. Blows past Amani Hansberry for the easy two. 28-24 the score. Approaching 30 seconds in the first half. Dallas will dribble the shot clock down just a little bit. It probably won't go until around the 10-second mark. Hansberry fighting up to get a screen. Now it's Abdallas matched up against Gilte. Abdallas, he almost walked on that. Bedford forced to put up a tough shot, and he hits it right in the face of Igbuka Okori. 2 seconds, 1 second. Okori puts it up and gets it out of bounds. What a defensive stop by Jalen Bedford right after he hit that clutch three to end the half.
What a three that was. Unbelievable. In the corner, time running out, shot clock running out, and a fadeaway three with someone in your face is really rare.
We talked about it before. That's the dual reality of Jalen Bedford. He's either hot or cold, and tonight he's got a little bit of a hot hand. Heading into the locker room, Bedford, 5 points. Not that hot, but he has played pretty well tonight, especially on the defensive end. But he has contributed a lot. I think he's a guy that's had more impact than the box score will show.
Coach Young has been saying it all season. The transfers that have come to Blacksburg have played a significant role. in this team and its depth and its ability to score and win games. Not just Abdallas, which was the big elephant in the room, but Hansberry, Bedford, Pasha, they have all contributed greatly to this team.
I mean, they sure have. This is a team who has no upperclassmen that originally started in the program. And you just look at it and you say, how is this team this good? I think it's still very surprising, but the roles are clearly defined for each guy. And I think that certainly leads to a lot of the success we see. But then on the other end, Stanford, they have struggled a little bit. Stanford, they've struggled from 3, 2 of 13 from beyond the arc, 10 of 31 from the floor. And it was an ugly first half for them. If you're Kyle Smith heading into the locker room, what do you say to your team and what do you try to scheme up?
There's panic settling in, and that's something that if I were Coach Smith, ease the guys in, get them more comfortable. Yes, there's going to be a lot of pressure from this Virginia Tech defense, but the ability to communicate with each other, to pass the ball more efficiently, to get the ball in the hoop, that's the most important part.
Chisholm McPara, the second leading scorer on the team, 15. He averages 15 a game. He's only 1 of 7 from the field tonight. And I think that's certainly something that has to change if they want a chance in this game. And then you move on, Ibuka Corey, averaging 22 a game as a freshman. He's only made 2 shots tonight. He has 5 points. I think it's hard to imagine what Stanford can do because they've relied on a Corey and a Puro so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Young has done a tremendous job this season preparing the guys for their next matchup. They don't look ahead. They look right to the very next game. They look at film. They study the film. And that's what they're doing. They're implementing exactly what Coach Young tells them to do, and it's putting Stanford in a really uncomfortable position.
They certainly have succeeded at that. And we'll see what they do in the second half. It's been a bit of an ugly first half of ball. 31-24 is the score heading into halftime. Virginia Tech has the lead. When we come back, it will be Connor Arthur on the play-by-play side. I, Thomas Howlett, will be your colored commentator. It's the end of the first half of action.
And we're back here at Cassell Coliseum. Virginia Tech up 31-24. Minute 30 left until we start the second half. And what a game it's been. Not a high-scoring game. We've got some people cheering here. The video board. First it was defensive coordinator Brent Pry. Now it's head football coach James Franklin in the house tonight. I'm Connor Arthur alongside Thomas Howlett. Thomas, what are you seeing right now that needs to be improved if you are a Stanford Cardinal player right now?
I just think they have to take better care of the basketball. They have to be more aggressive with where they want it to be. I think they're playing a lot more reactionary basketball at the moment on the offensive side, but they just need to get the ball to where they can make the shots. And I think a lot of that has to do with the Virginia Tech pressure. They've been blitzing off the screens a lot. I think that's not letting them penetrate. I think that's thrown them off their game. But I think Stanford, if they can adjust to that and they say, okay, we know what they're doing, now we're going to get the basketball here, 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 and here. I think that's what they need to do to calm these guys down.
Team comparisons right now, and the one that stands out the most, especially for Stanford, is 15% from beyond the arc, 2 for 13, compared to Virginia Tech's 5 for 13. Both shooting equal, but not when it comes to making it inside the basket.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really been the separator. I mean, both teams, Virginia Tech's made 11 shots from the floor. Stanford has made 10, and the three-point is really where we've seen the difference. It's now a 7-point Virginia Tech lead. And also Virginia Tech has 2 more free throws. Both teams have not missed from the charity stripe yet.
Getting ready to set up another 20 minutes of basketball on the floor right now. Jalen Bedford, Jaden Shute, Amani Hansberry, Neoklis Abdallas, and Christian Gerdak. For the Stanford Cardinal, we've got Ibuka Okori. We've got Oscar Hilte. We've got Geeler, Agarwal, and Akapara as well. We're getting ready to play some basketball here at Cassell Coliseum as Stanford kicks it off first. And right down the line, it goes for Okori, trying to get it inside the line, but no good. Agarwal with the ball. Tries to get inside, kicks it off to Hilte. Hilte inside. And Gerdak with the foul.
Yeah, Gerdak, I think, a little bit out of position in that moment, and Hilte was able to get a little bit of leverage and draw the foul.
Geeler kicks it back out to Hilte. Hilte will kick it again. Now Agarwal with the ball. Left side of the key, tries to go inside, kicks it back out to Akapara, who misses the three. And we've got a little bit of a scuffle going on here. Back out to Geeler. Geeler with the three. At the top of the key, Virginia Tech up now 4.
Yeah, that's just a great play really by Stanford. Oscar Hilte diving on the floor for that loose ball. Found Benny Geeler for the three.
Bedford on the other side of the line now. Kicks it off to Shute. Shute at the left side of the key. Tries to back up to the inside. Passes it to Hansberry. Hansberry inside with the floater and got it.
What a jump hook right there. They're giving me shades of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just going up and extending over his defender.
And now Geeler will pass it over to Okori. Okori with the three, a little bit alone, and bounces off the iron. Rebounded by Hansberry, and now Abdallas with the ball. Virginia Tech left to right here. Passes it over to Jalen Bedford. Bedford in the corner, goes inside. Runs around the court, passes it to Gerdak. Gerdak now at the three-point line. And the fans are not happy. They're looking for a foul. Abdallas on the right side of the key. Dribbles at three-point line, jump back, three. Off the mark, Gerdak with the rebound and a little bit of confusion. And a foul on Hilte.
It's the first of the game for Hilte, and that's just, I wish Jalen Bedford was a little bit more aggressive earlier in the play. I think he really could have taken advantage of when he got Agarwal in the air.
Abdallas on the right side, moves over to the middle, pass back to Hansberry. Hansberry tries to shoot a three and misses. Rebounded by Gerdak. Gerdak up to Bedford. Bedford with the three again, and that misses two. Rebounded by Akapara. The other side of the court now. Okori passes it to Hilte. Hilte inside, tried to shoot it in a foul. Amani Hansberry with the foul.
Yeah, that's just an empty side ball screen. Amani Hansberry has to help over, and Hilte, that does exactly what you want to do, and that's attack the basket when you're going downhill, and he draws the foul.
Misses the first free throw. Is Hilte. 33-27, Virginia Tech leads. 17:45. Fans are riled up.
Student section quite sparse tonight. Still on Christmas break.
And Hilte misses the second one. Gerdak with the rebound. Abdallas now down the line. Getting a little physical. Tries to motion Hansberry. Hansberry at the top of the key. Pass it over to Shute. Shute. Over to Abdallas on the right side. Near the corner. Tries to push inside. Shoots. And a foul is called on Okori.
Yeah, Corey. A little bit of a mismatch there. Dallas has the height advantage, but Corey has to match that with physicality. He just got a little bit too handsy. Now Dallas at the line.
Shooting two is Avdalis. The first one up, around, and all about, but in. Avdalis ranked the #2 international newcomer in the 2025 class, according to 24/7 Sports. As he preps for the second free throw, and he nails that one too. 35-27, Virginia Tech.
Avdalis is a sub 70% free throw shooter, and now he's 4 for 4 on the night. His shots looked a lot better.
Young with the ball. Right side, passes it over to Akapara. Akapara tries to get inside, passes it back out to Akori. Akori goes down the line, tries to shoot it, and misses. Gerdak with the rebound. And Rahosi with the foul as well. Virginia Tech gets the ball back.
Yeah, Stanford just still, when they try to go inside, Tech closes the lanes very, very quickly. And Stanford just not that aggressive inside during this contest.
Shoot on the left side of the key. Looks around, finds Avdalis near the paint, tries to push himself in, shoots, and gets it. Avdalis finding his footing.
Yeah, Stanford's going to have to do something about that matchup. Akori only 6'2", going up against a 6'9" Avdalis, and he is taking advantage of it like every smart player does.
Geeler at the top of the key. Steps back to the three-point line. Fans are looking for a travel call. Akapara tries to go inside, misses, punches the ball out too, and Virginia Tech will get the ball back. A 6-0 run for Virginia Tech.
They ended up calling that a foul on Akapara as well. That's just an unnecessary foul. Akapara's got to keep his composure. Don't try to force the matter. He just hacks Amani Hansberry trying to get the ball back.
Toby Lowell substituted for Christian Gerdak as Virginia Tech leads by 10. 16:05 left to play. Bedford to the left side. Passes it over to Avdalis. At the wing. Walks back out to the three-point line. Tries to switch over. Passes it over to Hansberry. Hansberry pushes himself inside. Fake up and hits the rim. But a foul called on Donovan Young, and will lead us to the media timeout. Virginia Tech up 10, 37-27 at Cassell Coliseum. 15:46 left to play as we return. I'm Connor Arthur alongside Thomas Howlett for 3304 Sports. And we're back here at Cassell Coliseum. 37-27 is your score. Virginia Tech leads by 3. 15:46 left in the match. Connor Arthur alongside Thomas Howlett. We've got ourselves a little bit of a game here for an ACC matchup.
A little bit of a game is definitely a way to put it. Virginia Tech, 10-point lead. They've just started to separate themselves here in the second half, really.
And Amani Hansberry at the line makes his first one. That makes a 7-0 run for Virginia Tech in the last 3 minutes. As he dribbles up and in for 2. This is interesting coming from a team that's 70% from the free throw line.
Still perfect on the night. 8 for 8 now with Hansberry's free throws.
Akori with the ball. Little screen. Kicks it over to Agarwal. Agarwal. Pass it to Young. Young over to Agarwal and then back over to Akori. Akori tries to go into the line and a foul is called.
Second foul on Hammond.
That has been a big issue, especially last game against Wake Forest. The fouls, especially early on, was looking a little questionable.
You know, not even a quarter of a way into this second half, and you just don't need fouls like that. Egbuka Okori, he's been struggling so far today. Just force him to hit the shots.
Egbuka Okori at the line, makes the first free throw. Ben Hammond will check out in exchange for the Delaware transfer, Isaiah Pasha. Egbuka up for the second free throw and in. Excuse me, Okori.
Stanford really needed something to kind of settle the nerves, just get points on the board. They end the Tech run. But now they've got to get stops on the defensive end, which they've struggled with.
Abdallas on the left side of the key, passes it over, tries to get inside Lowell. And a foul is called. Called on Agarwal.
Hokies are almost going to be in the bonus here. Again, we're still not even a quarter of the way. We're at 15:02 in the second half. A lot more basketball to be played, and Stanford's got to calm down with the fouling.
Abdallas passes it over to Hansberry inside the paint and gets it. Too short, says Hansberry. 41-29 Virginia Tech.
Gosh, Imani Hansberry is so much fun to watch in the post. He has these skills to be a stretch big, but when he needs to play big, he plays big. And that's something that you learn to love and appreciate.
Donovan Young, wide open on the right corner, hits the three, 41-32.
Donovan Young hasn't played much this season, but he's really been, he's a really special player coming out of high school. Coach Kyle Smith said we're really excited to have him here. And, you know, he has that stretch big ability. He's 6'8", just hit a three, and that's something that you need in this modern game.
Christian Gerdak backing in the game for Hansberry. Isaiah Pasha now at the free throw line, shooting two. Excuse me, a 1-and-1. Pasha gets the first free throw.
Pasha only 50% from the free throw line this season, and that's something that I'm sure Coach Young has him working on.
And as you say that, he's perfect from the free throw line, 2 for 2.
And the Hokies are 10 for 10, still haven't missed.
Okori passes it down to Hiote, who gets it in the paint. We've got a fast transition here from Virginia Tech going left from right. Pasha tries to pass it, loses the ball. Hiote with it. Okori down the line. Did he get it in? And near the charity stripe, he shoots a quick jumper.
Yeah, that was a good sequence for Stanford. You force the turnover, James Dent Smith, and then Okori, just a nice mid-range pull-up.
Abdallas tries to get points in the board. Looks like his foot was on the line, so would have been for 2, but misses. 43-36, Virginia Tech leads, 13-35 left in the matchup.
Stanford's been finding some success with that empty side ball screen going back to the possession before Hiote able to get into the lane and got one to fall over Abdallas.
Pasha gets a hand on the ball, pushes Okori back to the backfield, and now Okori in the right corner shoots it, gets it. A quick three-pointer in the corner for Okori. They're now on a 7-0 run.
That's what it takes. Big-time players make big-time plays. Okori getting hot at the right time, especially when his team needs them.
Abdallas fouled as he tried to get a quick 2 in the paint. Oscar Hiote with the foul. Stanford was trailing by as much as 11 just a handful of minutes ago. It's 43-39.
Yeah, that's something that Tech has struggled with all season. They seem to almost give up as many runs as they go on. I think that's a big flaw with this team. Sometimes they just go cold. And, that's just kind of a reality of basketball. I feel like this team just doesn't minimize that as much as they could.
Abdallah makes the first free throw.
Apparently, overnight, this team has become an amazing free throw shooting team. They're still perfect, 11 of 11 from the free throw line.
Amani Hansberry and Jalen Bedford back in the matchup for the Hokies as Abdallah awaits his second free throw. Up and misses. The first miss from the charity stripe tonight. And Stanford will get the ball back.
My fault, everybody. Announcers jinx. I should have kept my mouth shut. You think I would have learned from watching the announcers jinx my entire life. You never think you have the power until you do it.
Ben Hammond substitute in for Abdallah. Abdallah will take his seat as a Corey makes it to the Stanford territory. Wide open is Hielte, quickly grasped in by Schutt and Hansberry, and Virginia Tech has the ball. Hammond on the right side. Goes towards the wing, near the corner, passes it back out to Hansberry at the top of the key, pushes it back in, and around the rim it goes in the paint. Foul called. Ryan Aguilar with the foul, and Hansberry will now go to the line.
2 shots for Hansberry. Another miss. I didn't jinx it that time. Nobody can blame that on me. But Stanford, I think they've been finding some success with his lineup. Now Hielte goes out of the game in favor of Kamen. And we'll see what ends up happening with this.
Hansberry misses both free throws. After hyping up the perfection, Virginia Tech misses 3.
And then now another foul on Christian Gerdak. Number 3 for him with 12 minutes to go.
Gerdak will sit down for Sincere Jones. Kamen in the corner, runs back out to the top, passes it over to a Corey. Corey looks. Bedford on the other side. And a foul called on Jalen Bedford.
Yeah, I don't like that foul call at all. And honestly, there's been a few I've disagreed with here on the Virginia Tech side. I think these refs need to calm down with the whistle. It's an aggressive game.
A wide open swish for Donovan Young. And it's a 2-point ball game. Virginia Tech leads 44-42. 11:45 left. Hammond with the push off. Getting a little physical. He says, "Get off me." As we go to media timeout. Now, Stanford's looking a lot like they're getting back into it. They're getting comfortable again. They're finding some really good shots. And Virginia Tech on the other side. Fouls, turnovers, missed free throws.
Yeah, the free throw line can be where a game is won and lost. Virginia Tech saw it themselves against UVA in that triple overtime game. Ben Hammond, I think he had, 16 free throws? He was 16 of 16 from the free throw line. And you take a few of those away, it's a different game, different story, different conclusion. And he started perfect, and now he's missed the last 3 free throws. And that's a big issue. I think you at least got to get one, especially in Amani Hansberry's case. But I think Tech just has to be patient. They have to work the ball around a little bit more. And really, Stanford's done just a great job of doing that exact thing. They've been more patient. They've dribbled around. They've had more actions going on. And there was a few times they had some overlooks that Tech just had great plays on, like the one Corey found Hilte under the basket. Jaden Shute came in for a big strip behind. That was a big defensive play for the Hokies, but we've seen Stanford just getting more and more of those easy looks. Donovan Young able to cash in on that last three. He was wide open. And I think having him out there has really changed this game.
Absolutely. While Coach Young and Coach Smith speak to their respective teammates, and some tic-tac-toe going down on the court, we'll step aside. 44-42, Virginia Tech leads. 11:44 left to play. Anyone's game here on 3304 Sports. The buzzer goes off, and we're back here at Cassell Coliseum. 44-42, Virginia Tech leads. Stanford was trailing as much as 11 just a handful of minutes ago. Now Ben Hammond at the charity stripe makes his first to extend the lead to 3.
And very important free throws here. Just something to kind of pad that lead. Tech wants to have this lead be multiple possessions.
Hammond makes the second one. 46-42 now. And Jeremy Dent-Smith passes it over to Donovan Young. Cameron with the ball at the three-point line, passes it over to Agarwal. Agarwal back to Cameron in the paint. And a missed layup turns into a rebound for Hansberry. Hansberry passes it over to Hammond. Hammond goes right down the line. Speedy Gonzalez gets it.
Ben Hammond, great recognition. And now what Virginia Tech has done, now they have their two bigs out on the court, Amani Hansberry and Toby Lawau, to hopefully combat this Stanford attack. And it worked on that first possession.
Corey passes it to Donovan Smith in the corner, airballs it, rebound by Cameron. Gets it in for a 4-point lead for Virginia Tech, 44-48. Hammond at the top of the key, goes back down the paint again, and one! Hammond lights herself up.
Ben Hammond is so much fun to watch. He's so quick, he can just get in the lane, and he's also so small when you make contact, it's almost always a foul. And he takes advantage of that extremely well. Love watching him play. You know, I've had this theory about Ben Hammond. I think he can become one of those players in a team's history that, you know, the national media will never really recognize, but he can become a Virginia Tech legend. I really think that he can become that one guy, you know, you're sitting around with your friends, you're like, you remember Ben Hammond at Virginia Tech?
I remember.
Yeah.
As Hammond,
he can be that type of guy.
Missed at the back of the iron for the and one, so it'd just be a 2-point play for Virginia Tech as Stanford gets the ball back. Dent-Smith at the Virginia Tech logo, runs to the right, passes it to Ebuka Akori. Akori over to Donovan Smith. And Hammond hits the ball as Geeler is getting contested by Hansberry. And we've got some contention here. Shot clock goes to 0. Akori with the 3, no good. Hammond to the other side. The right wing is Hammond. Abdallas in. Hansberry in the paint. Tries to get past 2 defenders and no good. Back to Stanford on the left side of the court. Gerdak with a hand up and a turnover. Virginia Tech's ball.
Excellent sequence for the Hokies. I want to highlight that defensive possession where they were able to get the shot clock down. Just excellent defense all around. And there was a few times where Stanford had some matchups that they just didn't take advantage of. That was Benny Geeler, one of Stanford's fastest players against the big Amani Hansberry. He picked up his dribble too early. And then the Hokies, Jalen Bedford especially, just so aggressive on the defensive side. I love seeing when Jalen Bedford just gets in the zone and he picks you up right in your face. Great possession.
It's a 50-44 game. And this game is making me want to shout here at Cassell Coliseum.
Oh, now under the 10-minute mark, this is when we get to crunch time. This is what basketball is all about.
And to think about Stanford, even though things as of perhaps maybe 3-4 minutes ago, they have found their footing in the second half. The first half looked like they were struggling. It looked like they had a foot just dragging the entire time. Virginia Tech getting out early, but Virginia Tech is also keeping their eyes in the back of their head too.
Again, Tech is one of those teams, they go on runs and they give up runs. And right now I think they're kind of finding that rhythm to get that run. Now, they might give up a few points on a run to Stanford later on. But man, this team, at times they can be so impressive. I think the biggest struggle for them is just finding it consistent.
Consistency is key to be some of the best in the NCAA. If you're Coach Young right now, what are you telling your players?
I'm telling them, I'm saying, listen, it's a two-possession game. This isn't anything yet. We have to keep our foot on the gas, be patient, work the ball around, get your best shots. And then on the defensive side, be aggressive, be in their face. Tell Ben Hammond, keep jumping those passing lanes. You throw them out of rhythm when you do that. And I think that's what I tell my team. Just keep playing the way you are. Play hard. It's not over. You just got to keep the foot on the gas.
Looking at the stats before Virginia Tech and Stanford get back to resuming play, Amani Hansberry already has a double-double. 11 points, 10 rebounds for the junior.
Yeah, that'll be his 8th double-double of the season.
Hansberry became the first Virginia Tech player to record double-doubles in the first 2 ACC games of his career. First ever Hokie to do that.
And now that's 3. All 3 ACC games, double-doubles.
If Amani records a double, of course this is obviously a hypothetical, but if Amani records a double-double in almost every game in the ACC play, what will that mean once March comes?
You know what? I've been wondering this because there's been some things floating around that Virginia Tech might be able to get that at-large bid. And I think if Amani Hansberry ends up averaging a double-double in the ACC, this is a team that's probably bound for the tournament. I don't see how him playing like that would not have this team in a great position.
Hammond runs over to the right side of the court as we resume play here at Cassell Coliseum. Abdallas back towards the top of the key. Bedford down the line, left side. And a foul. It's like a foul on Stanford.
I believe that was Hilte. Oh no, that's Hammond. You see the confusion. One's 15, the other's 52. Almost an inverse. Those 5s will throw you off.
Bedford goes to the line. The lucky fingers are reaching out in Cassell. Bedford makes the first.
I always love when basketball arenas are so rowdy, and then when the whole team goes to the free throw line, you can hear a pin drop. I always think that's a fascinating thing about college basketball.
Bedford makes the second one too. 52-44, 9:27 left to play in regulation. Geeler will roll it towards half court, picks it up to save some clock. Geeler to the right side of the court. Passes it to Kamen. Kamen back over to Geeler. Geeler left side now. Pump fake, passes it to Kamen to the top of the key. Tries to look inside the paint, nothing there. Back to Geeler again. Geeler runs, jumper at the charity stripe. Bounces off the iron. Cameron with the rebound. Corey now goes to the line. In.
Yeah, that's a good possession from Stanford. Great offensive rebound from Ilte. Just gets it out to Corey, and he finds a lane. Makes Tech's aggressive defense pay.
Amani Hansberry in the paint, passes it over to Bedford in the left corner. Runs back around, tries to get in the paint. Blocked off, gets his own rebound, and no good again. Gerdak with the rebound. Ball is popped in the air. Hansberry with the rebound again. Back and forth we go. Abdallas to the right corner. Passes it all the way over to the other side. Hammond with a three and got it!
That's a big shot from Ben Hammond. Excellent find from Neo Abdallas. He feels that help side defense collapse on him, skips it to the wide open man in the corner.
And we've got the ball bouncing around on Stanford's side. Geeler calming everyone down. Bedford on the other side. Passes it over to Akori. Akori at the top of the key. Around the iron and misses. Bedford with the rebound as we go left to right for Virginia Tech. 55-46. Abdallas near the top of the key. Passes it over to Bedford. Bedford on the left side. Amani in the middle. Passes that to Abdallas. Abdallas looking. Tries to go into the paint. Quick jumper and got that.
This is one of those Virginia Tech runs. They're just finding what works. They're finding that rhythm in the offense. And the most important thing is getting dribble penetration. Abdallas getting to his spots whenever he wants.
Akori with a nice finger roll with Hansberry in guard. Abdallas 18 points in the matchup.
Now Stanford switching to a zone defense.
Protecting the paint is Stanford. Hansberry down the line, doesn't have anything there. Passes it back to the top of the key with Abdallas. Abdallas pushes himself in and misses. Stanford with the rebound. Rebound courtesy of Hielte. Geeler with the ball now at the top of the key. Cameron on the left side. Passes that back to Akori. 12 seconds left in the shot clock. And a reach-in foul. No, a foul on Jalen Bedford as we go to a timeout.
Yeah, I thought they got Hammond on a reach-in when he tried to get that dribble picked up, but it will go on Bedford. But an interesting kind of turn of events. Virginia Tech, again, they stepped on the gas, put up the points. Now a 9-point lead, did exactly what they had to do. And, you know, if I'm Kyle Smith for Stanford, I'm getting back to what's been working. I'd put Donovan Young back out there, have another three-point threat for a big man. Because that's one of their big issues. You see Ilte and Cameron out there. Neither one of them are great three-point shooters. So I think that really allows Virginia Tech to collapse on the ball. And that's a big reason that Stanford is having the struggles that they are.
A 2-point lead for Virginia Tech turns into a 9-point lead. 6:20 left to go here at Cassell Coliseum. One lucky person is coming home with some free Smithfield bacon as we return here on 3304 Sports. Losses become wins. Wins can become losses. 6:20 left to play. Virginia Tech up 9 with Stanford in possession. Connor Arthur, Thomas Howlett here on 3304 Sports with the call as Stanford kicks the game back into regulation and a long ball from Geeler to Donovan Young. Akori now at the top. We get refreshed. He pushes himself in. Ben Hammond on coverage and just slides around Virginia Tech defense for a quick 2.
Akori just has such a quick, really in and out lateral movement that he's able to turn those tight corners, especially in the lane.
22 points on the season for Corey. Looks like he's not going to hurt his points per game that much. 18 on the matchup.
Still nobody else from Stanford in double digits. A few guys on the cusp. Donovan Young has 8. Field-Tay has 8. But they really need a second guy to step up if they want to get back in this contest.
Virginia Tech in a double bonus. Stanford with 13 fouls. And Toby Lawal goes to the free throw line. A little rusty from the charity stripe as he misses his first.
Yeah, Lawal, that's his first free throw attempt since November. Long layoff for him.
Lawal makes the second one. It's an 8-point lead for Virginia Tech, 5:48. Keeler gets the ball into regulation, get the clock moving. It's a Corey. A Corey versus Hammond. Keeler with the ball now. Akpara tries to get himself in the paint. Almost a half-court violation. When it was passed out to a Corey. A Corey goes to the paint and a foul called.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one. I thought a Corey was losing the ball as he was going up. Not a huge fan of that foul call.
Personal foul on Hansberry, and 2 free throws will be rewarded for a Corey. 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Make that 3 for 3. And I just noticed this. There's inflatable tube men over on the student section side of Cassell. As a Corey makes the second one, seems the distraction was no good. Has that always been there?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think so. That might be the reason that Stanford's only 20 of 50 from the floor tonight.
That's really cool. Ben Hammond for the top of the key. 3. Bang!
Yeah, that's just a breakdown of a zone defense. Ben Hammond did exactly what he had to do, make that wide open 3.
Nothing but net in a ghost town for Ben Hammond, 61-52. And Stanford loses the ball. Shutt gets it. Or shoot, excuse me. Shoot to Hansberry. Hansberry dribbles it with his right hand. Abdallah with the ball now. On the right wing. Motions Hansberry over. A little turnaround ballerina move, but no good in the paint. Hammond with the rebound, and Abdallah gets the ball back. A whistle is called.
There's a loud clank on that shot. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He put that thing up after the whistle.
So we got a review here. Not sure what they're reviewing right now. Virginia Tech and Stanford have only met for the 4th time now. They're 2-1 against the Cardinal, 0-1 since the Cardinal joined the ACC last year.
You know what? I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that sentence. Stanford in the ACC.
Cal in the ACC, SMU in the ACC. Next thing you know, who knows? Ohio State in the ACC.
I think HELL might freeze over before that one happens.
With the way football and basketball and all these sports have changed the alignment of conferences over the years, you don't know where any university will join a conference.
I think they should go after Boise State. I'd love to see Boise State in the ACC. That blue turf.
It would be really nice.
Oh, you couldn't tell me that wouldn't be a fun trip for the Hokies, going out there in the middle of Boise, Idaho, playing in front of all the potatoes out in the fields.
A university who had just turned FBS not too long ago that I really want to join the ACC. It's James Madison. I think it just makes sense.
That would be interesting. you could start a rivalry here with Tech and UVA. I think that just brings more glory to the state of Virginia. I'm 100% fine with that. Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Looks like they are finished reviewing, perhaps for timing. 17 seconds left on the shot clock, 4:28 left in the match. Stanford still down by 9. Both teams shooting fairly equally, 40% in field goals for both ACC teams.
I will say Tech has done a great job controlling the ball today. Only 7 turnovers as a team. Neil Adalis against Wake Forest, he had that all by himself. So it's great to see this team calm that down, and it seems like they're taking much more care of the ball and they know where it's going.
Corey with 20 points for Stanford, Donovan Young with 8, Geeler with 6. For Virginia Tech, 3 players are in double digits now. Ben Hammond, Amani Hansberry, and Neoclis Afdalis.
Again, Ben Hammond just such a big player off the bench. He's got to be one of the better 6 men in the ACC. Just excels at his role as that backup point guard slash point guard that can play alongside your starting point guard. Just such a great player, very versatile, and I think he's having a breakout season. That's going to put him kind of on the map.
Absolutely. Stanford looking to take the lead. They're down by 9, but anything's possible with 4:28 left to go in regulation. As Shoot kicks it out to Hammond to start the clock once again. Hammond at the top of the key, runs over to the right. Lowell on the left side of it, pushes to the paint, spins around, and in for 2.
Love to see a decisive Kobe Lowell. He knew what spot he wanted to get to, and he got to it no problem.
Corey now with the ball on Stanford's side. Passes it over to the left side of the court for Donovan Young. Donovan passes that over to Akpura. Geeler with the ball. Akpura with the 3 on the right side and bounces straight off the iron.
Yeah, not a fan of that shot. Akpura above a 30% three-point shooter. I don't like it in this moment. I think you got to try to get easy shots.
Abdalis runs into the paint. Makes a nice contested shot. 65-52 now with 3:27 left in the ball game. Geeler on the left wing. Amani Hansberry gets a hand on it. And Shoot lets it go. Virginia Tech will get the ball back.
I did not like that possession for Stanford. You get a good switch. You get the 6'8" Donovan Young on the 5'11" Ben Hammond, and he didn't attack. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think when you get a mismatch of that proportion, you've got to take advantage of it. Get Donovan Young down low.
Virginia Tech on a 7-0 run for the past 2 minutes. They have led this game for 32 minutes and counting. Bedford with the ball on the left side of the court. Continues to stay on the left side, runs under the basket to the right side, passes that over to Ben Hammond. Hammond has a wide open lane, but height as it was blocked by Stanford. Stanford now in transition. Geeler with the ball on the right side. That ball blocked by Corey. Corey can do practically anything. Geeler with the 3 on the right side and swish.
Looks like number 20, Cameron Grant, is into the game for Stanford for the first time tonight. Looks like they want some more shooting out on the floor.
Ben Hammond at the top, runs down the line, and a foul call.
Fouls on Stanford, number 5, Benny Geeler.
Number 5, Benny Geeler, who just swished a nice 3.
That's foul number 4. got to be careful. Ryan Agarwal, the starter, hasn't played. He's had 4 fouls on him as well for a long time.
Ben Hammond now at the line. Virginia Tech still in a double bonus. Makes the first charity stripe free throw, 66-55. Ben Hammond, the 2024-25 All-ACC academic team, doing good on the court, doing good in the classroom as well, as we've got 6-7. 67-55, 2 minutes left. Stanford with the ball. A Corey in the line, and a foul, and an and one.
That one goes against Bedford. That will be his third.
There have been so many matchups that you see on Instagram or X where the kids are just are loving the meme of 2025.
That's one thing I want to leave in 2025. It ran its course. It was really funny, honestly, for like the first month, especially because a lot of people didn't understand it. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand it either.
I still don't.
I still don't. I don't know. It was fun to do for a long time, but it's ran its course.
Dallas at the top, passes that over to Hansberry in the paint, which was deflected. Stanford on the other side, and a Corey with a quick basket. 67-60, a minute 30 left in the ball game. Ben Hammond slows the tempo down. A Corey passes his 22 points per game mark with 25 on the match. Dallas at the top with a three. Off the front of the rim it goes, and no good. Stanford in transition, tries to get some points on the board. A corner three, blocked by Toby Lowell. But Corey is there to save the day.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, I was a little bit disappointed in the first half with Ibuka Okori. I was like, he hasn't done anything, but here in the second half, he has exploded. Now 28 points tonight. That's his third 3-point. Gosh, what a player! What a player!
It's possible that Ibuka Okori could go into the NBA draft if he declares. And with his points and the way he is able to handle the ball and his height, his weight, are you salivating as a scout?
I'm going to say not yet. I think he's very good. He's only 6'2". That's very short by NBA standards. Obviously, I don't think height is the end-all, be-all. He's a great shooter, as we've seen tonight. He knows his spots. But I'd give him another year before I consider him a first-round prospect. I think I've seen some things tonight that I don't want to say make me, not like him, but it makes you think, not yet. I think as a point guard, he can become a much better playmaker. I think he can improve his vision. But, his scoring, he's a natural scorer. Absolutely fantastic. He's been the best scorer tonight. And he's had to be. He's had to put this team on the back again. He's still the only Cardinal in double-digit scoring figures. Absolutely incredible. And what a performance. If Stanford ends up coming back and winning this game, he's the guy you got to think.
Well, Virginia Tech will get the ball with 1 minute left in the game. Stanford is trying to make a stop. Any stop will do. Hammond at the VT logo, Geeler on him. Quick screen. And Hammond loses the ball. Could the refs be looking at a foot out of bounds? Coach Smith wants an answer.
I think when Grant went in to kind of try to strip the ball away, it rolled out of bounds. It looks like Coach Smith is wanting a review. He's circling his finger, and they will review it.
50 seconds left in the match, 67-63, still anyone's ball game. Don't change the dial just yet. Stanford is on an 8-0 run. Virginia Tech has not scored a field goal in 2:46.
I will say it is already crazy. We're at 50.8 seconds on the clock. Absolutely nuts. It feels like this game has not gone by that fast, but we're under a minute to play. This is the real crunch time. It's a 4-point game. Stanford has been one feisty team. Again, Tech is that team. They go up on those big runs, and Stanford crawls right back.
For our audio listeners here, we've got Cassell guards shirtless inside of Cassell, waving the shirts, distracting Stanford. Of course, you can watch this match on ACC Network. The talent over there. Good to see Jim Boeheim in the house.
Oh, I know, fantastic. Obviously, he's going to be a good color guy. You know what I mean? It's Jim Boeheim. When it comes to basketball, there's not many people I would ask a basketball question to other than Jim Boeheim.
Evan Lepler and Dan Vaughn are also on the call as well. Virginia Tech is 9-0 at Cassell. They have yet to lose a game here in Blacksburg.
Last game they played was Elon, correct?
Correct.
That was a close game.
Not correct. Virginia.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting Virginia was played here. It's so weird that game was scheduled over Christmas break. That's usually something that, mid-January game.
What a great game. We've had some confusion. We've had some misses. We've had big leads, and then we had them trimmed down like a tree. We got Stanford the lumberjack over there.
Yeah, I will say, I want to ask you a quick question because of something I've noticed. What do you think about Toby Lowell being on the floor in this situation?
Toby Lowell coming off of the bench, 5 points, 2 for 3, and 1 for 2 in the charity stripe.
He's played 17 minutes. I mean,
to me, this is normal. This is normal for someone who has missed since the Atlantis tournament. And so it's good to have him back out on the floor. It's good to have him score points, but it's also, you don't want to put too much strain on him coming back.
So we'll stay with Virginia Tech. I think that's what they just said. Sometimes it can be hard to hear all the way up here.
Virginia Tech ball is huge in order to keep this lead. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Shoot brings it over to Hansberry to start the clock once again. Hansberry over to Abdalis. Top of the key towards the logo. On the logo, Abdalis goes to the left. Pushes back inside. Fadeaway jumper. No good. Stanford has to go quick. Okery. Back out to Donovan. And Donovan gets it. For 3, 1-point match. 20 seconds left to go.
What a shot by Donovan Young.
Abdalis at the top of the key. 16 seconds left. And a whistle is called. Foul on Stanford.
Stanford almost got themselves a turnover in the corner. A little bit of a high pass from Ben Hammer, but Jaden Shute, great shooter, but he showed off the hops right there, able to corral the pass, stay in bounds, didn't move his feet. That's an excellent play. That's something that doesn't show up in the box score. That's something a lot of lesser players wouldn't have been able to handle.
Abdalis misses his first free throw. Donovan Young, who shot the massive 3 for Stanford on the other side, was called for the foul. Abdalis now for his second free throw. 1-point match. 16 seconds left. Abdalis makes the second one. 2-point game here at Cassell. Virginia Tech will take a timeout.
I think we know who the ball is going to for Stanford. I think you give it to a Corey. You try to get him going downhill, attacking the basket, or you let him chuck up a 3. I think it's one of those two options, and I wouldn't be opposed to him trying to find Donovan Young in the corner or maybe Vinny Dealer also. Both of those guys have been pretty strong from three today.
The last thing Virginia Tech wants is another deja vu moment. Losing by 3 against Wake Forest. Calamies for Wake Forest with a big 3 to take the lead with mere seconds remaining.
I want to shout out Donovan Young real quick because he hasn't played a lot this year. To come into this environment and hit that big of a shot when you're a sophomore and you haven't played in too many games this year, that's ice in your veins. That's the type of guy I want playing for me. Kyle Smith has himself an absolute stud.
Donovan Young starts the clock. Keeler with the ball. Passes it over to Akori. 12 seconds remaining. Looks like they're going to go all the way down to the buzzer. Bedford. Screen on Akori. Akori with the 3. Got it! With 2 seconds left.
Ooh, boy, what a shot. If you like basketball, you like that play, the confidence and the ability to knock down that shot. That is special. Egbuka Akori, remember his name.
What a massive 3 for Stanford. They take the lead, 69-68. The fans at Cassell are shocked.
And I have to say, what they were trying to do was just a simple pick and pop. Got a nice screen on Bedford, and that's really kind of what separated. If Dallas was guarding Young, switched off, guarded Akori, and he didn't follow him out. Gave Akori just a little bit too much space. But then if you reverse it, if Bedford tries to go over, if Dallas stays there, then they would have swung it over to Young for that potential go-ahead 3. But Akori didn't let it get to that. Right in the face of Neo of Dallas. Potentially back-to-back heartbreaking 3s.
Officiating has extended the clock to 3.3 left in the match. Virginia Tech has got to go full court.
They do have a timeout remaining, so do they try to get it to half court? I think you at least have to try. But again, it could be risky. Stanford, they're spreading out all over the board.
And as you say that, Virginia Tech will take a timeout. Stanford Cardinal. They have led the match for only 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Virginia Tech led the rest. 69-68 is the score. 14-1 run for Stanford. They made their last 3 field goals.
Just what a tenacious team Stanford is. It was 67-60, and they hit 3 threes. 2 by Akori, 1 by Donovan Young, and even though it's heartbreaking for Virginia Tech right now, I mean, they still have a chance to win it. But Stanford just turned on the Jets at the right time.
With 3 seconds left, Abdalis will pass the ball in. This is all or nothing for the Hokies. Abdalis looking for someone open, passes the ball, and it's turned over by Stanford, and Stanford wins. What a malfunction for the Hokies. We've got whistles.
I think they called that a foul on Amani Hansberry on the shot. So this could possibly be an and 1 with under a second left.
Coach Young spoke about how good of a passer Abdalis is.
That's just a no-win situation, honestly. I understand why he took the timeout where he did, but I think you got to chuck it up to half court, see if you can catch it, get that timeout, so it's at least makeable. You can at least run a set instead of just having to scramble to who can get open and throw something up.
Fans are now leaving Cassell as officiating crews look to see if this could be a potential foul on Hansberry. What effort from Hewlett.
Oh, I know.
Able to contest, able to get the ball back into Stanford territory and shoot the quick two as time expires.
And, you know, this is just, the shot's no good. It didn't matter.
And officiating crews have said no to a Hansberry foul, and that will be the ball game. As hands are shaken between Stanford and Virginia Tech. Stanford, a massive three for Okori, takes the lead. 69-68, Stanford Cardinal wins it. They come all the way over to the East Coast to win a massive game against Virginia Tech.
Fantastic game. You couldn't ask for something much better than this. Even though it didn't go the Hokies' way, I still think that there's some good things that they did tonight. But man, just they did not get anything to go in the final 2 minutes. And some of it was at the free throw line. Neil Dallas missed a big one. That could have made this a tied game at the moment. We'd be heading into overtime.
Virginia Tech 19 of 25 from the charity stripe. As Virginia Tech will head back to the locker room to discuss yet another heartbreaker in the final seconds of regulation. First it was Wake Forest, and now the Stanford Cardinal. What a game, especially in ACC play. This is the kind of game, to me, that represents what the ACC is.
Oh, absolutely. You got great moments. You got chaos. It's all a beautiful blend, and it's what makes the ACC basketball special. And I want to take it back. I think Okori's ready. I think he's ready for the NBA. I don't know what I'm talking about. Making a shot like that, in that situation, you operate out of a pick and roll, and you settle in rhythm into a deep three. You can't make that stuff up. That's not anything but talent and skill. Just excellent performance from Abuka Okori.
Okori, 31 points to finish the matchup. 50% from beyond the arc, 4 for 8. Made all of his free throws. As Virginia Tech will fall to 12-4. 1-2 in the ACC. Stanford 13-3 and 2-1 in the ACC. Next up for Virginia Tech will be against Cal. Saturday, January 10th at 4 p.m. tip-off. They'll head on the road to SMU on the 14th, and they'll be back in Blacksburg against Notre Dame on January 17th. As for the Stanford Cardinal, again, a massive game for Stanford. They'll play against Virginia at Charlottesville at 11:15 a.m. Next up, North Carolina, back home in Stanford, California. That'll do it from us here at Cassell Coliseum. Final score, the Stanford Cardinals 69, Virginia Tech 68. That'll be it from us here at 3304 Sports. I'm Connor Arthur alongside Thomas Howlett. Good job today, my friend, and we'll see you in the next one. Have an amazing day. Take care.